You walk into a room, and immediately something shifts inside you. Your chest tightens, your mind races, you're scanning faces, measuring eyes, calculating who's judging you and who isn't. And in that moment, you've already lost. Not because you're weak, but because you've forgotten something fundamental about human nature. Confidence isn't what most people think it is. It's not about being loud or charming or having all the answers. It's about understanding a simple truth that most people never learn. Nobody in that room is thinking about you as much as you think they are. They're too busy worrying about themselves. See, awkwardness. It's a prison you build in your own mind. And the key to walking out, it's not pretending to be someone you're not. It's understanding the mechanics of social power, how attention works, how perception is controlled, and how confidence is nothing more than a decision you make before you even open your mouth. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to take that control back. No scripts, no tricks, just the raw truth about human behavior that'll change every social situation you walk into from this day forward. Let me tell you something about the first time I realized what confidence actually was. I was young, standing in a room full of men who'd seen more blood and broken more bones than I'd seen sunrises. Every single one of them could have ended me without a second thought, and I was terrified. But here's what I learned in that moment. Terror and confidence aren't opposites. They're neighbors. They live right next to each other in your chest, and the only difference between a confident man and a coward is which door he chooses to walk through. Most people think confidence is something you're born with, like blue eyes or a good jawline. They think it's genetic, that some people just have it, and others don't. That's rubbish. Complete rubbish. Confidence is a skill, same as riding a horse or reading a balance sheet. And like any skill, it can be learned, practiced, and mastered. But first, you've got to understand what's actually happening in your brain when you feel awkward. When you walk into a social situation, and that familiar tightness grips your chest, what you're experiencing is your ancient brain. The part that kept your ancestors alive when saber-toothed tigers were a real concern, trying to protect you from social rejection. Because thousands of years ago, being rejected by your tribe meant death. You couldn't survive alone, so your brain developed this sophisticated alarm system that screams at you whenever you might be at risk of social exclusion. That's what awkwardness is. It's not a character flaw. It's your brain trying to save your life from a threat that doesn't exist anymore. Understanding this changes everything, because once you know what's happening, you can talk back to that primitive part of your brain. You can say, I see you, I know what you're doing, but we're not in danger here. Now here's where most people get it wrong. They think the solution to social awkwardness is to become someone else, to put on a mask, to act extroverted when they're introverted, to force enthusiasm they don't feel. That's exhausting, and people can smell that fakeness from across the room. What actually works is something completely different. It's about shifting your focus. See, when you're feeling awkward, 100% of your attention is turned inward. You're monitoring yourself. How do I look? What should I say? Are they judging me? Did that sound stupid? It's like trying to dance while watching yourself in a mirror. You're going to stumble. The secret is to flip that attention outward. Stop being so interested in yourself and get genuinely curious about the other person. I've sat across from men who wanted to kill me, and I've sat across from women who wanted to charm me, and I've learned that in both cases the same principle applies. People are desperate to be seen, not looked at. Seen. They want someone to actually pay attention to what they're saying, to ask questions that matter, to remember details about their lives. When you walk into a room and you're worried about being awkward, you're making it about you. But the moment you make it about them, the moment you ask a real question and actually listen to the answer, everything changes. Because now you're not performing, you're connecting. And connection doesn't require confidence, it requires attention. But let's go deeper, because there's another layer to this that most people never consider. Your body is broadcasting signals every second of every day, and other people are reading those signals without even knowing they're doing it. When you slouch, when you cross your arms, when you avoid eye contact, when you speak quietly, you're telling everyone in the room that you're not sure you belong there. And here's the brutal truth. They'll believe you. Not because they're judgmental, but because humans are wired to accept the social hierarchy that others present. If you act like you're at the bottom, people will treat you like you're at the bottom. But if you walk in like you own the place, shoulders back, head up, moving with purpose, people's brains automatically assign you higher status. They can't help it, it's biology. No, I'm not saying you should fake it. What I'm saying is that your physiology affects your psychology. There's research on this. When you stand in a power pose for 2 minutes, your testosterone increases and your cortisol decreases. That's not mysticism, that's chemistry. Your body is telling your brain, we're safe, we're strong, we're in control, and your brain believes it. So before you walk into that party, that meeting, that date, Take 2 minutes, stand tall, breathe deep, let your body convince your mind that you're capable of this, because you are. Here's another thing about social situations that nobody tells you. Everyone else is just as worried as you are. I've met billionaires who were terrified of saying the wrong thing at dinner. I've met soldiers who could face down a machine gun but fell apart trying to talk to a woman they liked. We're all carrying the same fears. We're all running the same programs in our heads. The difference is that some people have learned to act despite the fear, while others let the fear make their decisions for them. And when you realize that the person you're talking to is probably just as nervous as you are, suddenly the whole game changes. You're not the only one who might say something awkward. You're not the only one who's worried about being judged. You're both human beings trying to navigate the same complicated social world. Let me tell you what confidence actually looks like in practice. It's not the loud guy at the bar telling stories to anyone who listen. That's insecurity wearing a loud suit. Real confidence is quiet. It's the person who can sit comfortably in silence, who doesn't need to fill every gap in conversation with noise. It's the person who can admit when they don't know something, who can laugh at themselves, who can be wrong without it destroying their sense of self. Confidence isn't thinking you're better than everyone else. It's knowing that you're not in competition with everyone else. You're on your own path, playing your own game, and other people's opinions, while sometimes useful, don't define your worth. And here's the part that might surprise you. The fastest way to become confident in social situations isn't to focus on yourself at all. It's to develop a genuine interest in other people. When you're truly curious about someone's story, their experiences, their perspective, you forget to be self-conscious. You're too engaged in the conversation to worry about how you're coming across. I've seen it happen over and over. The most magnetic people in any room aren't the most attractive or the most successful. They're the ones who make you feel interesting when you talk to them. They ask follow-up questions. They remember what you said. They treat your words like they matter. And the beautiful irony is that when you make other people feel valued, they associate that good feeling with you. They think you're confident, charming, engaging, not because you talked about yourself, but because you didn't. There's one more piece to this puzzle. It's the most important one. You've got to stop treating social situations like tests you can fail. Because when you walk into a room thinking, I need to make a good impression, I need people to like me, I can't mess this up, you've already created a losing game. You're putting all the power in other people's hands. You're saying that your value depends on their approval. But what if you flip the script? What if you walked in thinking, let me see if these are my kind of people? Let me see if this is where I want to invest my time and energy. Now you're the one evaluating, not being evaluated. You're the one with the power to decide if this social situation is worth your presence. That shift from seeking approval to offering your authentic self and seeing who appreciates it, that's where real confidence lives. Because you're no longer trying to be someone you're not. You're simply being who you are and trusting that the right people will recognize it. And the ones who don't, they were never your people anyway. That's not rejection, that's clarity. And clarity, my friend, is the ultimate form of confidence.